I have more freedom to say what I want than lawyers, who practice here all the time. Are the judges going to uphold individual rights, or are they going to allow their courtrooms to become instruments of political propaganda?
Amal Clooney, the 46-year-old accomplished and glamorous human rights lawyer and wife to Hollywood legend George Clooney, has recently made shocking headlines with a candid confession about her true feelings toward her husband. Known as one of Hollywood's most admired power couples, Amal and George have often dazzled the world with their charm and picture-perfect love. But behind the red carpet smiles, things might not be as perfect as they seem. Insiders are now claiming that the couple has been living separate lives, sparking rumors of trouble in paradise. Has Amal finally grown tired of George's enduring closeness with Julia Roberts? Stay with us as we uncover what might really be going on behind closed doors. Amal's shocking revelation. Amal Clooney, formerly Amal Alamuddin, is more than just the stunning wife of Hollywood legend George Clooney. A highly respected human rights lawyer, she has represented high-profile figures and built an impressive career long before stepping into the celebrity spotlight. With her beauty, intellect, and poise, it wasn't surprising when one of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors fell head over heels for her. Since their whirlwind romance and highly publicized marriage, Amal has been a frequent fixture in the media, often lauded for her impeccable style and brilliant mind. But behind the glitz and glamour, how did this seemingly perfect love story begin? George and Amal first met through a mutual friend during a casual dinner at George's home in Italy. From the moment they connected, sparks flew. What started as an exchange of emails soon turned into a deeper connection. And it wasn't long before they had their first date in London. Things moved quickly from there. Less than a year after meeting, George popped the question with a surprise proposal, so unexpected that the couple had never even discussed marriage before that moment. In George's own words, he knew almost immediately that Amal was the one, and was ready to spend the rest of his life with her. Reflecting on that life-changing moment, he admitted how grateful he was to have found someone he cared about more than anything else in the world. Since that magical proposal, George and Amal have tied the knot in a lavish ceremony in Italy, welcomed twins, and devoted their lives to humanitarian causes. It's no surprise that George and Amal Clooney have long been seen as the epitome of Hollywood glamour and marital bliss, but recent reports suggest that cracks may be forming in their nearly decade-long union. Despite their picture-perfect image, it appears their increasingly busy schedules have put a strain on their relationship. According to sources, the couple may be preparing for a prolonged separation, fueling speculation that their marriage isn't as idyllic as it seems. Amid swirling rumors of trouble in paradise, Amal Clooney has shocked the world with a stunning revelation. She truly hates her famous husband, George Clooney. Once the most eligible bachelor in Hollywood, George's charm and charisma seemed to have swept Amal off her feet. But her recent admission paints a very different picture of their high-profile marriage. What's even more surprising is where the confession came to light, during a court hearing for a high-profile case that has already been making waves in the media. George is already set to make his highly anticipated Broadway debut in 2025 with a stage adaptation of his critically acclaimed film Good Night and Good Luck, which will require him to spend an extended period in New York. Meanwhile, Amal is expected to remain in France with their 7-year-old twins, Alexander and Ella, continuing her work as a human rights lawyer, while George's Broadway debut marks an exciting new chapter in his career. The physical distance from his family has raised questions about how the couple will navigate this challenge. According to In Touch Weekly, the pair has been struggling to carve out time for each other due to their demanding careers, which has reportedly left their relationship hanging by a thread. But career obligations may not be the only reason for the tension. There's another factor at play, and it might leave fans even more shocked than the rumors of separation. Amal's unexpected statement fueled intense speculation, with some insiders suggesting that her resentment might be tied to George's famously close and somewhat controversial friendship with actress Julia Roberts. While fans of the couple are stunned by Amal's candid words, Sources close to the pair claim this revelation has been a long time coming. Behind the scenes, it seems the couple has been quietly struggling to hold things together, masking cracks in their marriage for years. With Amal's reputation as a brilliant and formidable lawyer, any potential split is likely to be costly and messy for her Hollywood superstar husband. As the once-envied Clooney love story appears to unravel, we're left wondering, what really drove this seemingly perfect couple to the brink of collapse? Stay with us as we delve deeper into the reasons behind the possible end of George and Amal Clooney's marriage. Beyond Hollywood, the truth about their relationship. Julia Roberts has always been a magnet for scandals, and her relationship with George Clooney has been no exception. From red carpet appearances to electric on-screen chemistry, their unlikely friendship has sparked tabloid headlines and endured every Hollywood storm. It all began in 2000, when George and Julia first crossed paths on the set of Ocean's 11. At the time, few would have guessed that their connection would outlast many of Hollywood's high-profile marriages. But 2 decades later, the bond remains unshakable and still purely platonic. George has often reflected on their friendship, saying that they clicked from the moment they met. According to him, their shared work ethic and down-to-earth attitudes formed the foundation of their relationship. When they first became friends, Julia had just won an Oscar for her role in Erin Brockovich, and George was making the leap from his ER fame to a blossoming film career. Unlike many Hollywood friendships that revolve around premieres and photo ops, theirs grew beyond the spotlight. Their bond deepened in 2004 when Julia became pregnant with twins. This life-changing moment brought out a new side of George, a softer, more protective version of the prankster he was known to be. He checked in on Julia frequently, made sure she stayed hydrated on set, and always had her back when she needed it. For Julia, George wasn't just a co-star, he was a true friend and a perfect gentleman. Many believed their friendship would eventually fade, as so many Hollywood connections do. But instead, it has grown stronger over the years, leaving fans, and apparently Amal, wondering just how close these two really are. Could this long-lasting bond have contributed to the cracks in George and Amal's marriage? As the rumors heat up, one thing is certain: George and Julia's relationship has always been anything but ordinary. Over the years, George Clooney and Julia Roberts worked together on multiple projects, from Ocean's 12 in 2004 to Money Monster in 2016. But it wasn't just their on-screen chemistry that kept their connection alive. It was the time they spent together off-screen that truly deepened their bond. George once gave a playful glimpse into their friendship, joking about how Julia would make strange bird noises before they grabbed coffee together. Their easygoing dynamic made them feel more like old friends than Hollywood co-stars. Their friendship grew even stronger when Julia was pregnant for the first time. Seeking peace and comfort, she spent time at George Clooney's iconic villa by Lake Como in Italy, a sanctuary known for its stunning views and historic charm. After giving birth, Julia returned to the villa with her children, bringing a sense of warmth and happy chaos to the quiet luxury of George's retreat. Unlike many Hollywood connections that crumble under the weight of rumors and rivalry, George and Julia's friendship thrived. They also supported each other through major life changes. George stood by Julia during her ups and downs with her husband, Danny Motter, while she watched him navigate years as Hollywood's most eligible bachelor until he finally settled down with Amal. Throughout it all, they handled the inevitable romance rumors with humor and grace. When asked why they never dated, George explained that either Julia was in a relationship or he was, and from the start, they had formed a platonic connection. It was all just fun, Julia once said, relieved that their friendship wasn't just another shallow Hollywood bond. That single comment summed up what made their relationship special. It was real, lasting, and refreshingly genuine in an industry known for fleeting connections. But just when it seemed like nothing could change their dynamic, a certain human rights lawyer named Amal entered George's life and set the stage for a new, more complicated chapter in their story. Amal's entrance into George Clooney's life. Just when Hollywood thought they had figured out the dynamic between George Clooney and Julia Roberts, along came Amal Alamuddin, a brilliant, accomplished human rights lawyer who seemed poised to challenge one of Tinseltown's most iconic friendships. With years of romance rumors swirling around George and Julia, many expected sparks, scandals, and jealousy to erupt. Yet what unfolded next caught everyone by surprise. According to Clooney himself, when he met Amal in 2013, Julia Roberts was one of the first people he called. After years of watching her close friend navigate high-profile relationships that never seemed to stick, Roberts immediately sensed that this time was different. "It's wonderful," she told Ellen DeGeneres, even before meeting Amal. When Ellen asked if she had met George's new love, Julia admitted she hadn't, but that didn't stop her from praising Amal, calling her beautiful and smart, and adding, "George is happy, and that's what matters most to me." In true Clooney fashion, George wasn't about to leave this important first meeting to chance. He carefully orchestrated a dinner to introduce the two most significant women in his life. What could have been an awkward encounter, especially given the years of tabloid gossip about Julia and George, turned out to be the beginning of something unexpected, a remarkable three-way friendship between Amal, Julia, and George. What made their bond unique was how effortlessly it developed, despite the media's constant whispers. Unlike many Hollywood wives who approach their husbands' female co-stars with suspicion, Amal welcomed Julia with warmth and grace. But that wasn't the only surprise in store. The brilliant Oxford-educated Amal Clooney, known for defending Julian Assange and advising Kofi Annan, discovered an unexpected kindred spirit in Julia Roberts. Beneath the Hollywood stardom, Amal saw a woman who valued authenticity over glamour. Their bond deepened when George and Amal welcomed their twin babies, Ella and Alexander, in 2017. Already a mother of three, Roberts quickly embraced the role of Auntie Juju to the Clooney twins. The affectionate nickname stuck, symbolizing the family-like closeness that had grown between George, Amal, and Julia over the years. By the time George and Julia filmed Ticket to Paradise in 2022, that tight-knit bond was still going strong.
We just don't like him because he's French.
I like the French. I like their fries.
Amal often brought Ella and Alexander to the set, where they would run to hug their beloved Auntie Juju between takes. Everything seemed picture-perfect until their friendship faced an unexpected test. During filming, George and Julia were required to act out an intimate kissing scene, a moment that set tongues wagging in Hollywood. The scene, which humorously took 80 takes, might have rattled some couples. But Amal's reaction, when she finally watched it, was telling. She laughed. She knew it was just part of their professional work and felt secure in her relationship with George. Off-camera, the Clooneys, Roberts, her husband Danny Moder, and their children formed a close-knit international community. They celebrated holidays together, supported each other's causes, and built traditions that extended far beyond the superficial circles of Hollywood socializing. That friendship was on full display in December 2022, when Roberts made headlines by wearing a custom dress covered with photos of George Clooney at the Kennedy Center Honors. The playful, heartfelt tribute left the audience smiling, and Amal, seated nearby, was seen laughing and applauding. It was a clear reminder of how far they had all come together, building something rare and real in the often fickle world of celebrity friendships. Behind the scenes of one of Hollywood's most iconic on-screen partnerships, George Clooney and Julia Roberts' now famous kiss scene in Ticket to Paradise raised plenty of eyebrows, especially after it took 80 takes to get right. The question on everyone's mind was, were they just acting, or was something deeper going on? After all, their on-screen chemistry had been captivating audiences for over 20 years, from Ocean's 11 to Ticket to Paradise. But what really happened during those takes? What the cameras didn't show was that 79 of those takes ended the same way, bursting into laughter. "It's like kissing my best friend," Roberts joked with her signature laugh. Clooney, even the Joker, reminded her of his Sexiest Man Alive titles. But even that couldn't keep them serious enough to shoot the scene. As for Amal Clooney, there wasn't a hint of jealousy, just amusement at how long it took them to stop cracking up and get it right. Julia Roberts and George Clooney's professional partnership spans 6 major films, each showcasing a different side of their undeniable chemistry. In Ocean's 11, they played exes with lingering tension, while in Money Monster, they took on more serious roles as a TV producer and host facing a high-stakes crisis. Whether it was romance, drama, or comedy, their natural connection made every interaction feel authentic. Part of the magic of their partnership is how they balance professionalism with genuine fun. While filming Ticket to Paradise in Australia, strict COVID restrictions kept them isolated from their families. But Julia and George leaned on each other, supporting one another through the long days and lonely nights. Their friendship didn't just survive the challenges, it thrived, and that connection, both on and off screen, remains one of Hollywood's most enduring. Julia Roberts later revealed that George Clooney and his family were her lifeline during the long, isolated days of filming Ticket to Paradise in Australia. Their fun-filled dynamic on set, already legendary in Hollywood, became even more evident. Directors often allocate extra time for scenes involving both stars, knowing their close friendship inevitably leads to laughter that can slow down filming, but ultimately creates magic on screen. This was particularly true on the set of Money Monster, where director Jodie Foster reportedly scheduled their toughest dialogue scenes early in the day before their playful banter could take over. The secret to their successful partnership lies in their similar approach to acting. Both Clooney and Roberts take their craft seriously but maintain a sense of humor about themselves, which makes them relatable to audiences. With their combined box office draw surpassing $5 billion worldwide, it's clear that their genuine chemistry resonates beyond the screen. Unlike many Hollywood duos who eventually tire of working together, Roberts and Clooney actively seek out new projects. Roberts even joked in a recent interview that George can't live without her on screen. And, as funny as it sounds, there's a hint of truth in it.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus.
Their latest project, Ticket to Paradise, showcases how much they've grown as screen partners. Playing divorced parents determined to stop their daughter's wedding, they brought decades of real-life friendship and understanding to the roles. The result was a performance that felt both fresh and familiar. Despite years of tabloid rumors, the duo proved once again that their connection is about friendship, not scandal. However, in recent years, the question has once again become a sensation. A closer look at Amal and George Clooney's relationship. On June 7, 2018, Amal Clooney reflected on the early days of her relationship with George Clooney during a speech at the American Film Institute Life Achievement Award Gala, where George was honored with the AFI Life Achievement Award. Amal candidly revealed that when she met George at the age of 35, she had nearly resigned herself to the idea of being a lifelong spinster. But everything changed after they met. They began spending time together in secret at her London flat, and it wasn't long before Amal realized that no matter what happened, she couldn't imagine being with anyone else. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Amal shared that, early in their relationship, she struggled to sleep when they were apart. Her friends teased her about the dreamy grin and head tilt she would unconsciously display whenever she read George's texts or discovered the love letters he secretly slipped into her bag. Even after 5 years together, Amal confessed that nothing had changed. George was still the man who held her complete admiration and whose smile had the power to make her melt every time. On May 6, 2019, George celebrated his 58th birthday, and it marked a special occasion for the Clooneys. It was his first birthday as a father, and he chose to spend it quietly with Amal. In addition to celebrating George's milestone, they were also toasting Amal's career achievements. Reflecting on the low-key celebration, George shared on Jimmy Kimmel Live, "I turned 58. Nothing's fun. But my wife and I had dinner, just the two of us at home, and it was really nice. We were very happy. In April 2020, George and Amal found themselves in lockdown as the COVID-19 pandemic swept across the world. They isolated themselves at their Los Angeles home, and the experience unexpectedly deepened their bond. That same month, the couple made over $1 million in donations to support pandemic relief efforts. Their contributions were spread across multiple charities, including the Motion Picture and Television Fund, the SAG-AFTRA Fund, the Los Angeles Mayor's Fund, the Lebanese Food Bank, and the National Health Service. George later shared that much of that year was spent at home, partly to protect their son Alexander, who had asthma. During that time, George reflected on how much his life had changed and credited Amal for his transformation. It was her presence, he admitted, that had made him reconsider his long-held belief that he would never settle down. In the middle of quarantining, George opened up about his life with Amal. George explained that prior to meeting his wife, he felt his life was complete, and it wasn't until Amal entered the picture that he realized how wrong he was. According to George, his life had been centered on work and his friends, and he did not know how unfulfilling it was until he met Amal, and then everything changed. The actor recounted realizing that there had been a huge, empty space in his life, and he had never been in a position where someone else's life was infinitely more important to him than his own. In December 2020, George once again showed how much he loved his wife by revealing that he never argued with Amal. Nearly a year after the pandemic began, George revealed that spending time at home with his family had been a pleasure. He explained that while he knew quarantining had been hard on some couples, he had never had an argument with Amal. After many movie nights during the pandemic, George revealed there was one film he wouldn't let his wife watch, Batman and Robin. He explained that he added the film to his banned movie list because he claimed with characteristic self-deprecation that he destroyed the franchise and didn't want to be embarrassed in front of Amal and their children. The actor, known for his playful humor, added that there are certain films he couldn't have his wife see, as he wanted his wife to still have some respect for him. Not all of George's films are off-limits, though, as he later revealed that Amal and her friends are big fans of his movie One Fine Day. Apparently, George Clooney was not the only one smitten with his partner. In March of 2022, after being named one of Time magazine's 2022 Women of the Year, Amal shared details about her marriage to George, calling him inspirational and supportive. She described their marriage as wonderful and added that theirs was a home filled with love and laughter. Although the couple continued to express their deep affection for each other in public, recent developments in their marriage had some wondering if their love story was beginning to show cracks. Rumors swirled after certain tabloids claimed that Amal, known for her prestigious educational and legal background, allegedly viewed George Clooney's less accomplished friends as beneath her. Initially celebrated as a symbol of grace, intellect, and modernity, Amal's reputation as the perfect match for George was now being questioned by those who suspected that the image had been carefully curated to mask their supposed incompatibility. Still, while Hollywood tabloids thrive on stirring up sensational headlines, the reality is often less dramatic than it appears. So what do you think? Is Amal Clooney and George Clooney's marriage really coming to an end? Don't hesitate to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following videos shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.